It's a great privilege to have this opportunity to talk to you, and I must thank Josephat and Pieros for such a nice intro, and also for giving me the opportunity to talk to you as the leaders. And I so much believe just what Josephat has talked about is something that is so dear to me, and especially his touch on a subject. His choice of words were deliberate, full of insight and wisdom. And he talked about something I love, and that is a commitment. And you know, when we are committed, then we are focused. And when we are focused, then the sky is not even the limit for each one of us. And I'm so humbled to talk to you because I believe it's seated today, this evening, the 15 of us who have logged in, is not just about the superstars, but this holds really the secrets of the business in East Africa. And I believe each one of us, if we just take to heart the little yet so impactful words that Josephat has talked about commitment, I believe we not just going to build our business in the month of December, which we're going to really focus on, but even beyond, not just in December, but in the years to come. I believe seated here are the future leaders of the business. And indeed, I dare to say that it is the now leaders of Neolife today. And I believe together with the able leadership of your committed PTs, we're going to build one of the most solid businesses anybody would want to emulate. That is my goal, and that is our goal, and that is our vision, and together we believe we can do it. Talking about a stable business, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about how can we build a solid director business that is just not going to help us today, not just earn money, but it's going to lay a firm foundation for the future that Josephat and Pieros always talks to you about. So what really is a strong director business? How can we build it? What are the secrets of such a business? And how can we indeed know we have a strong director business? Well, one of the things that we can really show that we can look at to show that we have a strong director business, one, a strong director business is the one that helps you to lay a firm foundation for higher income. That is the first parameter we want to look at. So the question we want to ask ourselves is this evening, the kind of business module I have today, does it help me to lay a higher foundation for higher income in the days to come? This is number two. The second thing that will help you to identify if you have a strong director structure, does this business structure I have help me to be consistent at the title that I have in? And that is key. What is consistency? When you qualify to be a director, you only know you are consistent if you are constantly doing your 4,000 qualified points for the rest of your life. And if that is not happening, you don't need to worry about it. That is why we have this meeting today, so that together we can look at how can I build that business that is going to enable me to be consistent at title. How else can you tell whether your director business today is stable? We've already talked about, I will deliberately repeat them. One, it's one that helps you to lay a firm foundation for a higher status. Number two is one that will help you to earn higher income. Number three, it's one that will help you to be consistent at your title. And number four is one that will help you to even earn other incomes, not just the bonus commissions, or rather the bonus discount, but also leads you to leadership development bonus. Another way you can tell if your business structure module is strong, if it helps you to create excitement at the lower levels. So the question is, does my business module help me to create excitement at the lower levels? Does it help me to duplicate myself? Has it helped me also to enhance the retention of the people that you bring into the business? If indeed it helps you to retain all the people that you bring into the business, or majority of them, 75% to 85% of them, then you can say you have a very stable director business. But the question therefore is, how can we build such kind of a director structure that is going to help you to create excitement at the lower levels, that is going to help you to build deep and wide, that is going to help you to increase your income, that is going to help you to retain the people that you bring into the business, that is going to help you to be consistently qualifying at your title. So one of the things we can do today is to appreciate that we are the CEOs of our business. That simply means we need to take personal responsibility of how things are going to fall fall into place. What do I mean? I mean, if things are going to grow or your business is going to increase, you need to take personal responsibility. That means, yes, you appreciate you have an upline world team member, you have a PT member, but for things to happen, it has to be you. You have to have that personal commitment that Josephat has talked about. You have to have self-discipline that is going to give you reasons to work at your vision, to work at your goals. You need to personally have a team culture, not just a superstar culture, but a team culture that has to do with your personal distributors that you sponsor and also your personal team. You need to have that culture. So when somebody looks at you and your team, is it your upline, is it your PT, what culture have you developed? Is it a culture of I can do it? Is it a culture of things are really tough during this pandemic period? Is it a culture of there is anybody who can do it, it is me, bring it on? Is it a culture of having consistently contacting your team meetings, you're conducting interviews with new people, making a firm resolve to talk to at least 5 people a day? Is it my culture to develop strong distributors, strong managers, and senior managers? We need to look at our culture. What is really my personal team culture that I want other people to emulate? Once we identify that, then it becomes very possible for other people to hold your hand and to walk with you, because you not just have a sense of direction, but you have such strong faith in what you're doing that we can only believe that you're giving God something to bless. So it boils down to personal activity. So how can we today, in the month of December, build a strong director structure? One of the things that we want to appreciate and we want to do today is we want to have personal goals to do with personal sponsoring. That is key. If we have to increase our income, we have to move to the next level, that is from director to ED to Sapphire director. Personal sponsoring is the backbone of our business. It's like the bloodline that is going to help us to get things moving. So we want to ask ourselves, how is my personal sponsoring? Do I see the compelling reasons why I need to personally sponsor? That is key. And keep in mind that people want to see it in you. The people that you bring into the business, when we tell them to sponsor, they must see you being recognized by your upliners that indeed you're setting an example in sponsoring. And keep in mind the issue of sponsoring is not an event. It is a process. It is a process that begins from your first contact to that person, to the presentation that you're going to do to them, the kit launch. It is the process that will take you to sponsor your first manager. It is the process that will keep going until you develop that person to become a senior manager. It is a process that will help you to duplicate yourself so that they can become directors just like you. It is the same process that will move until you become a world team member. It is the process that will help that person to become a PT member. Until they get there, then we can say, indeed, we have sponsored somebody. We start talking about that sponsoring when we help them to become directors, and that is key. Yeah? And of course, it starts with working on us. It starts with working on us. And you remember the 3 C's of success? The first one is competence. Competence. So we need to be competent ourselves, to believe in us ourselves so much, and what we have learned from our uplines that we can see we need to sponsor people. What about the second C of success? It is the chemistry. You remember we talked about this business is about relationships. So that person we have come into contact in the first place, we need to build a chemistry. We need to build a relationship with them. We need to mentor them. We want them to see us not just as uplines and sponsors, but we want them to see us as leaders who are worthy to be imitated by them. A leader that they are ready to work whatever they want to work with. And the third one, talking about sponsoring, always remember that it has to do with character. That is the third C of success. So we need to have such a strong character, likable character, loving character, that we're ready to work with them. And that is what we're talking about, the team culture. It starts with our character, that when they see us as their upline all around, they can say indeed and feel confident they can introduce you to the people that they want to come into the business. Once we sponsor the person, we also need to remember the one thing, that our business, when we're talking about personal sponsoring, it's not about sponsor business. From my explanation, maybe that's what we're getting, but that is not it. Remember, when we sponsor, we also need to teach them to sponsor somebody. And that's not where it ends. Once we show them to sponsor somebody, we also want to teach them to show the person they have sponsored to sponsor another person. Once we do that, we teach them, we also need to show that person to develop other people below that person we taught them to sponsor. And what am I talking about in those a little bit complicated wordings? Sponsor, you show, you teach, and then you develop. Development is about developing leaders like you. And when you get to the level of development, then you can rightfully say, I have duplicated myself. And that's what we've just been talking about. What is duplication? Duplication is when you have helped the person you sponsor. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, somebody pointed that my voice has disappeared. So that is okay. So once we now start to develop people, then we have duplicated ourselves. So for us to build a strong director business, we ought to duplicate ourselves. And you cannot duplicate yourself until you've sponsored first level, third level, fourth level, up to the 14th level, we dare to say. If you get your building deep to the 14th level without knowing, you've just created depth that will be able to give you minimum of 3 directors below you, if not 2 directors. And when you talk about it, you can imagine the kind of volume that you're going to generate by developing up to the 14th level. But today we're not going to overwhelm ourselves. We're going to take it each step at a time and say at least minimum for us to have a strong business that we've developed depth, we need to at least go to the 4th to the 5th level. And that is key. If we do that, what are we doing? Multi-level marketing, network marketing. You remember it is about network. So without knowing, by building deep, you simply developing a network. And you remember through network, you generate volume. That is now where the PVs and product movement comes in. And it goes without saying that it's been said in network marketing, if there is no product movement, no one gets paid. So without even thinking too deep about it, without your knowledge, you look back at 1 to 2 months and 3 months and you wonder, wow, I'm getting paid so much money. But the reason for that money is not just because you need to be paid, it's because you've created a solid network of leaders like you who are simply enabled you to get paid. By going deep, you've created excitement in the lower levels that enables you to help as many people as possible to the 5th level, even beyond there, to earn a bonus like you. And when they get excited, they get to earn bonuses, commissions, then your business automatically is growing. So what you've done by building deep, you've simply created or triggered a downward motivation. And what happens very quickly, you also trigger an upward motivation. You are motivated because of what they are able to do. And instead of creating rocks that are discouraged below there, they are so excited and they will talk about their product experiences. They are going to talk about how much money they are earning. And most important, they are going to talk about my team is making this kind of money on monthly basis. And without you even realizing it, your business has simply exploded. So the question we can ask ourselves this evening is, how many people did I assist in the month of October and November to earn a check? Was it 2? Was it 5? Was it 10? Was it 20? The more people we help to earn a bonus or commission at the end of the month, the more likely our business is going to grow. And most of the time, you're earning double, 3 times, 4 times the amount of money that they are making. And that is the power of duplication. That is the power of giving back. Once you incentivize them, then everything flows very perfectly. And your leaders have set an example in this. And I'm also getting a lot of feedback from your PT members that each one of us seated here is not tight-fisted. You're giving back to the people that you have in your team, and in respect, you also earning money from them, and they are giving back. And I want to continue to commend you to continue doing that. So now the question is, how can we move from where we are? Because that is key. We need to move from where we are to the next level. Assume today we are at 1,000. We need to move to 2,000. Assume we are at 2,000 today as directors, which happens once in a while. We need to move to 3,000. If we are at 3,000, we need to move to 4,000. If we are at 4,000, we need to take it to 5,000, to 6,000, to 8,000, and to 10,000. And how magical will it be if each one of us can actually move to ultimately to that magic number, the 10,000. And remember, I've not even talked about Sapphire. Those are automatic. By the time you get your volume to 10,000, I will not even start to explain that you are earning a minimum of 150,000 Kenya shillings. And that is quite exciting, even before you become a Sapphire. And we will going to illustrate that just in a few minutes. So for us to move forward, to move from our A to our B, what must we do? In addition to personal sponsoring, when we now create a network, we've gone to the 5th level, something automatically happens. you develop managers. And something else happens, we'll develop senior managers. And something else special happens. You don't just develop senior managers doing 1,000 points, but you develop senior managers who are doing 2,000 points. 2,000 points is magical for us. Your PTs will tell you, because somebody getting 2,000 points with a team is earning a minimum of 25,000 Kenya shillings. And that is exciting for a senior manager. And you can imagine if you just have 10 of them making over 25,000 Kenya shillings, you can imagine how much money you're going to make. 10 earning 25, yourself you have there, you can just start to imagine. I'm going to illustrate briefly because Josephat said one of the things we need to do in the month of December, we need to make money. We need to make double the money that we made in October and November. We need to make triple that money in the month of January. And moving forward indefinitely, we're going to keep moving forward as a team. So what do we need to do? One, we said to build a strong business that will enable us to earn more money, to be consistent, to retain people, to move to the next level. We need to do a second thing, and we said we need to develop very strong managers. The third thing we've just said is you build deep, we're going to develop very strong senior managers that I've talked about between 1,000 to 2,000. And the other thing that we need to do for us to be able to move forward, we simply need to sponsor and grow wide. So we were doing some arithmetic with your PTs, and it's interesting what happens if you at least have some 6 people that you can work with. Before I explain that, for us to move forward, we need to do something else. We need to identify what do we need to do. We already said we need to move to our B, and that should be 2,000, either 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 to 6,000 to 7,000. That's what we must do. The second key thing, that answers the what we need to achieve our goals. The second thing that we need to address is with whom do we achieve that? The who. So for us as a team, we need to identify who am I going to work with so that I can reach my destination. And then the third thing is how can we do it and how can we help them to do it so that they can help us to achieve our goals, to answer the what. So I would like to just simplify it today and say one of the things, today I'm not even going to talk about building a director business with senior managers. Just in case we feel sometimes it's overwhelming when we're getting somebody to do 1,000 QPVs with a team. Let us work with managers, okay? And let's do some exercise today. And let's assume, look at yourself, but think about the person who is below you. So we're going to put yourself as you, and you draw a circle for you as you, and then we're going to write 250 personal points, okay? If you've done so, let us draw some 6 circles of directly sponsored people. What we're trying to do, we're trying to build a structure that will help us to move from A to B. So this person we're talking about is somebody who has consistently been doing 1,000 points, but we want to practically show them how simple it is to move to 2,000 by simply identifying 5 people, 6 people below them. Okay, each of that person, I would like you to draw, they have sponsored 3 people. And those 3 people have done at least 100 personal points. Those are the 6 people. The 6 people below them, you've drawn at least in one of the circles 3 people. So that person, your first person, we're going to call person number 1. They have also done 100 points. If you look at it, you've just done some 300 PVs in that group. 300 or 3 of them? Oh yes, let's make it simple. Let's even do 2, not 3. Let's just do 2, not 3. So each of them has done 100, 100, and you've done, the person you've sponsored has done 100. So that is just 300 PVs. 300 times 6, each of them has done that. Look at it, it's 1,800 PVs. Plus your 250, that simply gives you 22,050 PVs. And look at how simple that is. No one has even done single orders, which is very good when you get somebody who can do that. But I wanted to, I'm just giving you that example so that you can see the amount of money that somebody can earn by just doing 2,000 points, and not just doing a lot of PVs, but doing just minimum of 300. And let's even assume that person has already qualified to be a manager. Assume the people you've identified are all of them managers. So by accumulating 300, they are going to be paid at least 3%. And you are at 2,000. That means you're going to be to earn 15%. I want to show you some calculation I've done so that you can see where the money comes in. You will tell me whether you can see this. Is it legible? Okay, let's go in the first case. And in the first case, we say this person does 250, and you sponsor person number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they have done 300 points. Let's assume they are already managers. So they are earning 3%. So what is left is, out of 15%, you are going to earn 12% from each of the people. I used actual products just to see, by doing 300 PVs, what is the cumulative BVs without looking at one each. And I realized minimum or maximum should be 30,000 BVs. So see what I've 30,000 BVs for equivalent of 300 PVs. So what did I do? I multiplied 30,000 by 12%, and I got, at least from each person, you are earning 3,600. Just somebody doing 300 points, you're earning 3,600 times 6 of them, because they are number 1 to 6, you're getting 21,600. You see how important, how much somebody can make? And then if you just come on your personal production, the 250, out of 15%, you're making 4,500. That person who is doing 2,000 points, they are earning a minimum of 26,000 Kenya shillings. And that is amazing. That is a senior manager who has jumped from 1,000 with a team of 6 people doing just 300 PVs. And you can imagine the kind of money that they are making. So if, for example, we have a director below us who is doing 1,000 points, we need to help them to have at least 6 people doing 300 points, and they quickly jump from 5,000 to 25,000 Kenya shillings. Okay, let's now assume that is just illustration number 1. Let's illustrate number 2. This is number 1. And then here, we're going to put illustration number 2. You can see, is it legible? Okay, you look at the second person now, we have changed. We have changed now to from 250, because you have to grow. We've changed it to 500 personal points. And from there, we've now changed down here, the people who did 300, we're going to help them to have a team that is going 3 levels deep. And we've simply accumulated to 500 personal points together accumulated. So look at what has happened. The same 6 people now who are managers, we have helped them to become strong managers. A strong manager is somebody doing between 500 to 900 QPVs. What has happened now? These people, you multiply 500 times 6, you're already at 3,000 points. And that is just managed business, simplicity of what Neolife compensation plan offers. So what happens now? That person actually is at 33,000 plus your personal 500, or let's even assume you still doing 250. That is 3,250 points, 3,250 points, if not 3,500. We're not even rushing them to become directors because we want them to see the importance of growth. What happens in this? See how it quickly changes now from 25,000. I did a small calculation, and if somebody does 500 points minimum, depending on the product, they are doing around 50,000 BVs cumulatively for that group. And you notice that it changes to 20% because you are at 3,000.
Sorry, Fred,
so
Fred, yes? get closer to the mic. We can't hear you well.
Okay, so you can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, super. Sorry about that. So you notice now from 250 or 300, we're now at 500 per QPVs with the team. I just did a quick calculation of how many BVs will translate to 500 points, and I got around 50,000 for the purpose of this illustration. So what happens, I said, you're going to earn at 20% from the 15%, just an additional 5%. And this person who is doing 500, they are earning 5%. So you are earning 15% from them. So 15% times 50,000 BVs, I was able to find out that it is from each person you are earning 7,500. So if Josephat does, or is it Pieros who is the mathematician, or she is the one, she will quickly, she can always counter check. If you multiply 75 times 6, we're getting, how much is that? Yeah, 75 times 75 times 75 times 6. How much is that?
45.
45,000 Kenya shillings. Just from the 6 people who are doing 500 points. Now, if you do your 500 points, the 150,000 times 20%, you're also going to get some 10,000 Kenya shillings. So by doing 3,000, you realize you or the people below you, senior managers doing 3,000 points, the minimum they should take home is 55,000 Kenya shillings. So do you start to feel the sweetness of Neolife compensation plan? You need a strategy for earning money. You need to help them to have a simple strategy, not even for 1,000 personal points, just 500 QPVs, and you're taking home some 55,000 Kenya shillings, plus your 10,000 of profits for doing 500 points, and the incentives that your PT is going to give you. How about that? So very quickly, you realize you're taking home around 60,000 Kenya shillings, and how beautiful that is. That is, wow, it is possible. Plus your profit, we're talking about over 65,000 Kenya shillings. And that is somebody just doing 3,200 or 3,500 PVs. Keep in mind the 500 here is not single orders, if it's not possible. We're talking about duplicating what we did here. The 3 people, in fact, if now in the first instance, we changed it to 400, just to 400, if we went to three people here, and we now changed it to 400, so 400 times 6 was going to give you 2,400. You are heading to 3,000. Plus your 250, we're talking about 2,800 PVs. So here we're talking about 500 QPVs, and you're earning 7,000 from each of of them. And that is a fact. I know it. Now, let's now assume you get so excited and you've decided to duplicate yourself. Assume 65,000 Kenya shillings has excited you. It excites me. If somebody was to send me 65,000 Kenya shillings additionally every month, I will do anything and everything they want me to do so that I can earn double. Okay? So let's now take a step further. We say today we are going to do a business of managers. I'm not going to talk about senior managers until the next discussion. Okay? So let's now make it more exciting. You can see now the third illustration. We're still maintaining 500, and we now changed it. You notice from here what I've done. Out of the 250 person there, below them, out of the 3 people I've just picked now, we also, remember we said we need to help people to earn money. And the only way somebody is going to earn money is to be a manager. From 250 to 300, okay, to 500 upwards. Let's assume out of the people you sponsored, the 3 or 4 of them, 2 of them have come here and does 250 or 300 or whatever they do. You maintain your 250, they do 250, just 2 of them out of the 4, out of the 3. That takes you to 200, that takes you to 250 out of 750. Okay. I think it was saying it was Wanchanyaga, I'm not sure, but yeah, so you can see what is happening here. We've just changed the arithmetic from now 500 to 750. And simply by doing 250 and having 3 people below you earn a check, and they are just doing 250. So what happens, it changes again from here, and it becomes now 250 out of 750. I also did a very quick calculation and said, if out of the 6 people, each of them with their team did 750, Pieros, if you do a calculation, you get 4,500 PVs by simply having 6 managers who are just on their way to 1,000 points. Okay. If you had your personal points, 500, very quickly, you've jumped from 3.5 to 5,000 QPVs. Why is that important? Don't even count the incentive the company is going to give you. Don't even count your PT incentive. In fact, the money that you're going to make as a director making 5,000 QPV is amazing. How does it work? If you look at the BVs for 750, it's around 70,000 BVs. If you multiply that by 20, you're simply getting 14,000 Kenya shillings from each one of them. And that is a fact. So you multiply 14,000 times 6, and PROs, that should give you 84,000 Kenya shillings. Now, if you now do 50,000 BVs for your personal PVs times 25%, you're getting an additional 12,500 Kenya shillings. Where does that throw you? It takes you to 96,000 Kenya shillings. And that is just the minimum, because most of us now are in the club of 1,000 personal points. 1,000 points will give you around 24,000 Kenya shillings. So if we simply from 96 plus 12,000, you can imagine where you are just at 5,000, between 5,000 to 6,000 QPV, you very comfortably at 96,000 plus another 10,000, we're talking about 106,000 Kenya shillings. And that's what many EDs are earning in Kenya. We have the illustrations and we can prove that it is indeed doable. So what is the point of doing this? It's not to overwhelm you, friends. It is just to tell you with a plan, It is possible for the month of December and beyond to make money. It is very possible by simply helping a number of people, 6, 8, 10 across, and going down 4 levels, or even if it is 3 levels, it is possible to make huge income. And if you're already not there, don't worry about it. There is a starting point and it starts today. We would like you to commit yourself to looking at it, and if something was not clear, you can give me a shout. You can also talk to your PT, and then we can affirm what I've said. What was the point of the discussion? It was not just targeting the directors, but also the senior managers we want to help to move from A to B. So whatever we've done in this illustration, I'm challenging you to go and identify the who. And once you identify the who it is you want to work with, not less than 6 of them, then you need to draw for them a structure just like I've drawn one, and help them to see how they can move from where they are to the next level. And if you do that, you will find yourself, you've helped not just 5 people, but 10 people, 15 people to 20 people earning money in your network. And if you do that, I think your business will explode in a very positive way. You will build a business that will stand the test of time. And test of time, I mean any challenges that we face. And by doing that, by creating a network, you can imagine every day of your planning, every week and every month, you're giving the person who blesses the works of our hands something to bless by working with people. And that's what we want to do. We want to have such strong faith and hope that this business is doable, and that if there is anybody who can get it done, it has to be you. It requires the self-discipline that we've talked about, having a team culture, and also identifying the key people that you're going to work with, moving from your A to your B. And as much as you help people to move from where they are to the next level, it simply solidifies your business. It gives you an opportunity to daily work on building a strong structure. It gives you an opportunity to keep showing people indeed you are the leader that they can emulate, that you can show them the way, you can mentor them, but most important, you can give them direction. And that is key for making our business move to the next level. We need to be in such a place where we can give direction to the people that are below us. And if we do that, I believe not just the month of December, in January, in February, just in 3 months' time, I believe each one of us seated here, during the 4th month, we should be able to make the next step. And that step will just come as a by the way, because we have put in an activity that will trigger excellent results as we move forward. Keep in mind, if we do that, we will not only have a solid business today, but we will have touched as many people as possible to have a future in your life. And God will super abundantly bless each one of you because you've done what you ought to have done. Thank you so much for listening. In case you have any question, you're free to contact me. You can contact your world team, your PT members, and I'm sure they are going to just help you to simplify whatever plan you have. And I think in December, Josephat and Pieros, this team is going to give us incredible results, and Kenya will be so proud of the superstars. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you very much, friends, for that elaborate, great lesson.